Those who want to legalize same-sex marriage say it's a civil rights issue. Hello, I'm Tony Perkins here in Washington, D.C. And it was here in front of the Lincoln Memorial in 1963 that Dr. Martin Luther King made one of the most profound speeches in American history. It came at the height of the civil rights movement in America. Today, proponents of same-sex marriage are trying to draw a parallel between their sexual behavior and the civil rights movement. But listen to what African-American leaders say to that claim.
Tony, there's no way to compare the civil rights movement and the gay rights movement. You know, we live in a society in which no one wants to be called a bigot. No one wants to be seen as being intolerant and lashing out. And therefore, there's been an attempt to hijack the civil rights movement and to make it look like this is the same kind of thing, gay marriage, that we were dealing with the blacks sitting in the back of the bus. But I'm offended at times by that comparison because I had no choice but to be black. I didn't choose to come into the world and live a deviant lifestyle. Today, we need to understand that this is just a PR gambit, and we need the church to rise up and be strong and come forth to protect the sacred right of marriage.
And then to try to say that it's all right for people of the same sex to marry, and then to compare that with civil rights. Now, I'm upset about that. That gets me passionate because of everything that African Americans have gone through in order to get the rights.
To compare homosexuality to a civil right is to compare my skin with their sin. That's insulting, demeaning, and offensive. I believe it's even racist to compare my complexion to somebody else's sin. Homosexuality is a choice, and skin color is not a choice. Therefore, there is no comparison of the two.
And to have another group come along and hijack a noble civil rights movement and claim that because of their preferences, whether it be same-sex marriage or homosexuality, is a civil right, it's tremendously offensive to millions of African Americans. And you know, the thing that really amazes me too is that a person can change their mind about what sexual preference they have out of a conviction. And all of a sudden now they're heterosexual and they like the opposite sex. Well, I can't change my mind about my race. That's an issue of creation. I'm going to always be black.
I've met former homosexuals. There are former homosexuals, members of the church where I pastored, but I've never met a former black person. Therefore, you cannot compare civil rights with gay rights.
As you have just heard, according to these African-American leaders, same-sex marriage is not a civil right. Don't be swayed by claims of same-sex marriage advocates. This is not an issue of civil rights. It's an issue of who will define marriage, not only for your family, but for generations to come. Remember, how you vote today will determine the kind of America we have tomorrow.